Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video we're going to continue setting up Passport inside of our YelpClone by creating the signup routes and form, and we're also going to update the nav bar to add that signup link. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create the view, the signup view, that's going to show our form. This is going to be an ugly form for now and we can fix it later. So touch views/signup.ejs. So we've got sign up here, and step one is to include partials/header. I'm going to duplicate that and do partial/footer. And inside we're just going to put our form. So it was a form. The action is going to be /signup. The method is going to be post. And actually, I'm going to put a little h1 on the top that just says sign up. We've got our form. Inside of there, we're going to have an input where the type equals email. Name is email. Placeholder is email address. So duplicate that a couple times because now we need a username. Oops, types equals text. Name equals username. Placeholder is username, and then type equals password, name is password, placeholder is password. And finally we need a button, type equals submit. Sign up is what we'll say. So now we have our form. We just need the routes to actually show that form and then do something with the routes. So let's go into our routes directory, and we're going to make a new file. And I'm just going to call it auth. You could call it authorization or sign up or things like that, but I'm just going to go with auth. Touch routes/auth.js, and we're going to put all of our authentication and authorization routes inside of here. Inside of here, we're going to have a few things. First, we're going to have to import express and router. We're going to need user as well. So const express equals require express. Const router equals express dot router, called as a function. And then const user equals require /models/user. And remember, it's dot because we're in the routes directory. We're going up to the Yelp comics directory and then going into the models directory. So the dot goes up a level. We also need passport now that I think about it. Const passport equals require passport. So let's do the sign up new route, and then we're going to do the sign up create route. Notice I'm still using RESTful routing conventions. So router.get/signup is just going to request response res.render sign up. That's all that's going to do, because all we're going to need to do is just show that form. And then router.post to sign up is request response. And right now res.send sign up post. So let's save, and then at the bottom we have to do module.exports equals router. And remember, since we have this in a separate file, we have to import it into our app.js and then use it. So where's my route imports? There they are. Let's see, so const auth routes equals require /routes/auth. So first we're importing it, and now down here in the configuration we have to actually use it. So I've got main routes. I'm going to put it here because it's also going to be at /app.use/auth routes. And some people choose to put their auth inside of their main or whatever they're calling their other JavaScript file. That's fine. If you want to do that, I have no problem with that. I like to keep them separated just for separation of concerns and to make it easier to keep track of. So now we have those imported. Let's nodaemon, see if I fat fingered anything, and then test if the routes are working. All right, Yelp Comics is running. So let's try to go to sign up and see if it works. Yep, there it goes. So email address, test@test.com, test, sign up, and we hit the post route. Perfect. So now we have to actually do the creation thing. And again, you could mainly just copy paste this from the other file, but I'm going to do it all out because I want to get additional practice for all y'all. So we need to make this an async function because we're going to be interacting with the database. So try catch. So if there's an error, console.log that error, and then res.send that error. So in the try, we're going to create const new user equals await user.register. Now remember, this is a method added to user by Passport. This is not on Mongoose by default. This is added by Passport. This is why we're using register and not create. So register is a method that takes two arguments. If you remember, it takes a new user argument and then it takes the password argument. The password is separate from the new user. So the new user is going to be, because whenever you're creating a new user, you have to pass that an object into that user. So really what we're doing is this, and then we're adding the password here. Okay, I just want to make sure that everybody understands this before I break it out into all of its own lines. So the password is going to come from request.body.password. So we can go ahead and put that in there. And now we have this user object where the username is equal to request.body.username and the email is equal to request.body.email. And I could, if I wanted to, break this down onto its own line. GURM kind of borks that up a little bit, but that would work just fine. I honestly kind of like the way it looks like that a little bit better. It makes more sense to me personally, so I'm going to leave it like that. After that's done, I want to console.log that user, the new user. And again, you would not do this in production. I'm just doing it to test. Then after that's done, I want to authenticate as that new user. So passport.authenticate using the local strategy. And then this we're going to call as a function. So request, response, and then our callback. res.redirect to /comics. And then add our semicolons. This part right here is what oftentimes trips people up because it's weird to have a method called as a function and then call that as a function and then inside of that have another callback function. It's a little screwy. It makes sense if you really dive into it and look at the docs and everything, but that's just kind of the format that you have to do. So just make sure that you have that done, and if you get syntax errors, go back and check it and make sure. So we've got that done. Let's test it and see if it works. See if we can create a new user in our database. First, I'm going to pull up my database and drop my table of users because I've got that test user that I had when I was playing around with the authentication practice. So now that is deleted and that table has been dropped. I can just pull it over so you can see it. We've got the users table that now has nothing in it. So our server is running. Let's go. Now we're already on sign up, so let's refresh and try it. Test@test.com. Test is the username. Test is the password. Sign up. It'll take it a second, and there we go. We are now officially signed in. I know we are signed in because we went to /comics instead of throwing an error. We can also double check that if you remember by looking at our cookies. Application, here's the application. You've got a bunch of different cookies that are installed by GURM, but you can tell which one is the one that we did because it's actually, there's the domain, not .gurm.io. So this is the session cookie. It'll be called connect.sid. So we know that this is connected. We are logged in. The last thing I want to do is add a sign up link to this form because right now we've got login, but we don't have sign up. So inside of, this is views, partials, navbar, we are going to come down to the login link right here, and I'm just going to duplicate this. Copy, paste it right there, fix the indentation, and then sign up. And the link is going to go to sign up. And while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and fix this so that that link goes to login, even though we don't have that route yet. So let's save. Refresh this page, and now we have a sign up link. So sign up, and it does indeed take me to sign up. In this video, we did a couple things. We created our routes, our authorization routes and authentication routes. We set this whole thing up, imported the things we needed to, and then we set up the sign-up routes, both the GET and the POST. The GET will render the form, the POST will actually create the user and then log them in, redirecting to /comments. We created that sign-up form inside of our views, and we also updated our navbar partial to include a link to sign up. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to help. Thanks.